Kawasaki's William Yokley is a wild child. The national #2 picked up victory #1 in the North Carolina woods. Now Yokley and Safari Racing's Matt Smiley look to hold off champion Bill Balance at round 4. Get out of the way! ATV Racing is next on Fox Sports Net. Cross Anchor, South Carolina. It's the home of Big Buck Ranch and home this week for the fastest cross-country all-terrain vehicle riders in the world. Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Myers. Welcome to Fox Sports Net and our coverage of ATV Grand National Championship cross-country racing. To my left is Mark Hyde. He's our resident off-road expert and a real go-fast guy in the woods. Mark, as we look back at rounds 1, 2, and well, you know what? I was thinking Bill Balance, who was the defending ATV champ, was going to run away with this thing. Then came round number 3. Some other guys stepped up to the plate big time, and it got exciting.
Yes, it did. Bill, he made some mistakes. I felt he was a little too aggressive, trying to make some passes that didn't work for him, and it opened the door for William Yokley from Team Kawasaki. I mean, William, he rode a great race and was able to capitalize on those mistakes. And even though Bill made his mistakes, he still ended up 3rd. So his points are good, and he's still at the front of the pack when it comes to the point series lead.
Now, the rest of these guys, I think what you're saying, are going to have to continue this step up, if you will, if they want to be a factor in the series. Now, one thing that impresses me today is this racetrack, and I think it's going to be, well, just good for racing in general.
Well, from a rider standpoint, you're going to have to love the track that's out there today. It's a good variety. We've got some great woods, but the key thing that I think is really going to make it fun for the riders is the grass tracks. We have a lot of grass track sections, and that's going to enable them to stay together, pass the lap riders quickly, and make for a real free-for-all going into that finish line.
Well, the name of this property is Big Buck, and I suspect that right now down in the line, the riders are ready to show their horns and get it on. So without further ado, we'll introduce the other 2 members of our broadcast crew, and we'll start with Bob Walker.
Thanks, guys. Billy Balance, 3rd place at last week. What's it going to take to get up top?
We're going to have to get a good start here today. This is one of the most gnarly starts we've had. It's all funneling down into the first turn around this tree up here. So, you know, I'm right in the middle. I'm just going to have to get a good jump out of the hole and try to be the first one to the first turn. That's going to set the tone of the day.
There we go, Jen. Who's going to be challenging him today?
Well, I'm here with Jeff Seagate, 3rd overall in points, 4th last week. Is this the weekend you're going to get #1?
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I don't know. We had a lot of bike work to do. We got here a day early, and I think we got it done. We're looking to do real good at this race.
Okay, well, Jeff's certainly been one of the most exciting performers so far this year. We'll see how he does today.
Well, before we get to how he does today, let's take a look at how he and the rest of the field have done at the first 3 races. Bill Balance on top, followed by Smiley and Seagot. It is a tight race. Oh, Mark, I'm chomping at the bits.
Oh, and these guys are too. After the performance by Yokley at the last race and Smiley stepped up there, these guys now know they can beat Bill Balance.
Hey, we got racing coming up. We'll take a look at the track and drop the flag. Grand National Cross Country All-Terrain Vehicle Racing on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by CD Boots. Welcome back. Larry Myers along with Mark Hyde set to bring you the action, and action we will get.
Yes, Bill Balance, he suffered defeat for the first time at the last race, and William Yokley and Matt Smiley, they were able to beat him. They did a convincing job of it, but Bill, he wants to change that this week.
Hey, don't all champions want to change that, getting out of the winner's circle and right back into it? They're not happy if they don't win. Let's take a look at some track facts, 10 miles long, checkpoints at 2.5 and 7. That's how you keep track of the riders. Now, for more on the track, let's go to our Bob Walker, who is somewhere in the South Carolina woods.
The race this weekend in Big Buck, South Carolina is one of choices in the woods. The last 2 races we had, tight, narrow riding in the woods, not conducive to passing. These are open woods. The riders have a variety of ways to go fast here. They don't realize what's underneath their tires. We have a lot of leaves here this weekend. It's going to cause a lot of slipping and sliding. Slipping and sliding leads to hitting objects. You hit a tree, broken metal, broken bones. Here, more line selections. The riders have a variety of ways to get through these woods. This is not the only section like this. There's going to be a lot of passing, some great riding, and awesome racing.
Mark, is that guy enthused or what? Bob Walker's set for this race to get underway. Take a look at the lineup. Who's the biggest challenger to Balance?
After the last race, it's got to be William Yoakley. But Matt Smiley, he beat Balance too, so those 2 guys are in. Here we go.
And there.
Uh-oh, look there, Larry. William Yoakley, the winner from the last race, he got hooked up on that tree there, and boy, he is at the back today. And Balance early on, he said the start was going to be important. So we'll have to see if his words come true or not, because Yoakley definitely blew the start on this one.
Boy, he did big time. Smiley, meanwhile, grabbed the whole shot. Balance was right behind, and I think that was Borage and Seagot behind them. So they're in the wide open spaces, and indeed it is. Here's Matt Smiley. He's followed by Bill Balance. And, yep, that's Borage and Seagot in 3rd and 4th. And where is Yoakley? There is no Yoakley. He is way at the back of this pack.
Boy, after the last race, too, after his big win, you know he wanted to come out here today and keep that same momentum going. And Smiley, he's up front. He was second to the last one, and it looks like he wants to improve that by 1 position today.
A little bit of dust out on some portions of the grass track, although the terrain in the woods is relatively soft, and there's really great traction. But that might create a problem for some of the riders. We'll see how it plays out. So, for the first time today, Matt Smiley, followed by Bill Balance, make their way through some of those slippery trails. Now it's time for our core moto cam. We'll jump in behind William Yoakley. And look, there is no one in front. No other riders to be seen.
Yeah, and one thing that Williams got going for him, we talked about the ground cover. It's going to make the leaders difficult to pick the trail out. So while they're busy picking the trail out, William, if he can get around some guys, he can make some quick passes and get to that front.
It's hot, it's humid here today. How much energy will he expend trying to catch those guys in front of him?
Oh, there he goes around one of the other pro riders. Usually when you catch a guy as fast as Yoakley did, the guys will get out of the way, jump in behind, and see what you're doing to go that fast. And you're right about the heat. It's going to use a lot of energy today. This is the hottest race we've seen all year, so that could be a big factor.
Well, it's hot up front. Smiley has grabbed the whole shot. He's not about to give it up. But behind him, Balance, Borage, and Seagot all want their piece. Welcome back to Cross Anchor, South Carolina, Big Buck Ranch. Smiley running in the lead. That is Borage, Seagot running 4th, and Yoakley is in 5th place.
Well, William, I think, has really used this ground cover, the slow pace of the front guys, has let him catch up. And with the open woods, like Bob Walker said earlier, there's some multiple lines out there, and Yoakley's been using them.
That is an unbelievable ride. He was so far back after being caught up at the start. Well, let's just take a look.
Yeah, you can see him. He kind of got a good jump off the line, but as you look real close, Balance got a better jump, and Balance just pushed him, and he caught that tree with his front wheel. He spun it around, and Balance said the start was important. He made sure it was important for him.
And look, he still can't get out. He was actually pointed directly into the tree and not able to move at all. And already inside of 1 lap, he's up to 5th place. That's just remarkable.
Yeah, and usually they use like a pole for the first corner. If they'd have done that today, he would have been fine. But with that tree planted there, he wasn't going anywhere.
We're on board with the core moto cam, watching the action as a rider would see it. Page is trying to put the move on Yoakley. He was probably passed by Yoakley so fast, and he said, I'm going to retaliate. I'm going to hang with that guy, but he's got his hands full because Yoakley is in a groove right now.
Yes, he is. Sometimes when you get a bad start like that, your adrenaline gets pumping, and all you see is guys in front of you, and you just want to floor it and get to the front of the pack as fast as possible. And if he can keep that up today, he's going to be in great shape, but the heat factor could get him at the end.
Matt Smiley continues, followed by Balance, Borage, and there was our moto cam. He was a lone motorcycle running off. Look at that, 2 different lines. He's still trying to pass guys.
Yeah, when you get a bad start like that, your adrenaline gets going, and you just want to go, 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 and keep going. And the track today, with that leaf cover in there, it slowed up the front guys, but it really makes the ground perfect. It's going to dust up a little bit out in the open, but these guys are going to have a great track to work with today.
There's Seagot in third place, and Yoakley is up to 4. What happened to Borage?
Well, Chris has had some great rides. The young kids, it's been going really fast, but when you're young like that, you make mistakes, and that must have been what happened to him so far today.
Well, we'll take a look at a replay, and we'll see what happened to him. Oh, the slippery leaves caught up with him.
Yeah, and those little pine trees there, it's tough to see sometimes because the branches kind of get in the way, and Chris maybe thought he had a clear lane to pass somebody, and it got him in a big tangle. It
looked like he was trying to climb that tree. Here's your leader coming into the check, end of lap 1. That's Matt Smiley. He is checked, and right behind Bill Balance. And here is Jeff Seagot, rider number 18. Seagot tried to get by without being checked. That would have been disastrous.
Wow, look at Smiley. He is really on the gas here early. And Bill Balance looks a little more patient today than he did 2 weeks ago.
And Seagot not that far off the pace, and there goes Yoakley, and there is Brad Page. Wow.
Man, this is shaping up to be an exciting race so far today. Here we have Kim Coonley and Chris Borich. If you recall, back in Florida, those two spent a lot of time together down there.
And they're doing it again today. Jump on board with a Core Moto Cam, and we will be following.
Oh, we're back here with Brad Page and William Yoakley in 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, and these two, they seem to have a good pace rhythm going here. They're riding. Oh, did you see Brad Page there? He clipped that tree with his front wheel, and it shot him off the course right there.
And he's still hung up. He is still hung up. The rear wheel was caught against that tree, and our Motocam guy said, here's an opportunity for me to get around him, and he left him. Look at this. Look at the pace there. Oh, that's incredible. Look at this. 4 wheels off the ground. They just hit that wide open. Here comes Seagot. And Seagot, same thing. This is incredible.
And these guys, they are just going for it early in the race. The pace is really quick. These guys, they're not taking any chances, or they're taking a lot of chances, actually.
A lot, indeed they are. For this early in the race, should they be riding that hard?
You know, we've been lucky to have some cool weather this year so far, and this is the first hot one, and this heat might catch up with these guys later in the day.
Okay, following Smiley and Balance, that's 1st and 2nd place. It's just an incredible pace that they have set this early, and because they have set it, they have dragged the rest of the field along. They have no choice. The guys behind them have no choice. They want to stay in the hunt for the win. They have got to follow. They have got to run that tremendously fast pace, and they are fast.
Yeah, you know, Smiley, he's just probably got a lot of confidence from, they beat Balance 2 weeks ago, and he just wants to keep setting the tone and tell Bill Balance, like, hey, we're here. It's not going to be a runaway for you. You've got to work if you've got to win.
Oh, that was a narrow bridge. He barely got over without falling off. Stick with us. Welcome back. This is Grand National Championship ATV Racing, cross-country style. That is your leader. He's been there since the get-go, and the guy right behind him has been there. We're talking about Smiley and Balance.
Yeah, Bill Balance, he's just been like Smiley's shadow so far today. He's following him, and I think he's trying to formulate a game plan as this race goes on.
Hey, we're going to take a break from the racing action. That'll let Mark and I catch our breath. And we'll meet some of the riders up close and personal and ask them, if you could be any kind of a pro athlete, what would it be?
I don't know if this would be a pro athlete, but it'd probably be mountain bike racing, like downhill mountain bike racing. I've always wanted to try that. It looks like a lot of fun on TV, and it's similar to what we do here, but I just kind of got into this first, so I just figure I might as well stick with this as long as I can.
Probably motocross. I used to race motocross before on a dirt bike, and I used to like to jump with it. And then I got into the four-wheeler, and I like this a lot better.
Probably basketball. I've played basketball ever since I was just knee high and just always enjoyed it.
Probably pro football, NFL. I really like it. Never really played it in school, but I think I could have.
Probably golf or bass fishing. I've gotten into that a whole lot lately, and I think it'd be cool to be bass fisherman, you know, sort of relaxing. It seems like when you get away from the races, you're always wanting something relaxing to do, whether it's golf or something like that. I think that'd be pretty enjoyable.
Bill Balance is my new hero. I can guarantee you that. There's your leader, Matt Smiley, up over that bridge. Look at this. There's no room for error. That was Balance in second place. No room at all as we watch Seaguy. Look at this.
You know, one wrong move, and if you miss this bridge, buddy, you're down in a hurry. And I didn't know there was another sport besides racing.
You make a good point there, Mark. You make a very good point. Here comes Page. He's back in the number 5 position.
These guys, you too, you can see the course now. The leaves are starting to get blown off, and these guys are going to be picking up the pace as the day goes on.
These woods are tight. Look at Smiley get through the trees, followed closely by Balance. Wow, this is incredible. And again, our moto cam following those two.
And here we have Kim Coonley and Chris Borich. Oh, look at Borich. He got underneath him there and just held the throttle on and got on the throttle a little bit sooner. Got a little wide there. I thought Coonley could have, shoved him out and got back around him.
And not over yet. It's not over yet. Oh, a wheelie.
And that young kid, he does like doing wheelies and jumps.
Bury themselves into the corner. Hard in, hard out. This is the portion of the track. Well, there are several of them, the grass tracks that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, the grass tracks, they're really going to be an interesting day. It does a couple things for you. It lets you work on passing the guy you're racing with, and also it's a great opportunity to get by lapped riders, which will come into play later in the race.
20 seconds off the leader's pace comes Jeff Seaguy, followed closely by William Yoakley.
And Yoakley has just been on a tear after getting that bad start. It's definitely got him fired up, and here we jump in again behind Bill Balance, and boy, he is just really working that squad through the tight woods. And 2 weeks ago, he was very aggressive and made some mistakes that cost him the race. Today, he really looks like he's being a lot more patient and just picking up everything that Smiley's doing and, like I said, formulating a game plan for later in the race.
Oh, he's formulating a game plan. He's looking for a way around. He's looking for alternate lines right now.
And what he could be doing there, too, is trying the lines, maybe not really trying to pass Smiley here, but just, putting those in his head so later in the race he can go back to those and know which ones work and which ones don't.
How do you keep track of different lines, alternate lines, when there are that many trees around?
Well, later in the day, if you keep watching, you'll see yellow pie plates up on the trees, and those are mile markers. They do a couple of things. It helps the riders know where they are at the course and where those lines are, and also a safety reason. If somebody gets hurt, you can tell them, or broke down, you can say, hey, so-and-so's at mile marker 6.
I think that I would prefer a GPS system to get me through the trees. That's what I would want.
Well, and here we're back to Coonley and Borich. Those two, they just can't get away from each other this year.
Mark, as incredible as the racing has been up front, I find the fact that Yoakley has worked up to 4th place just remarkable. And Yoakley has worked to 3rd place. He has gotten around Seaguy, and look at that. Now only 11 seconds behind the leaders.
He is just on a big charge day. After getting that bad start, he's fired up. He's picking good lines. He's charging hard. And then, too, Smiley with the heat. He might be the smart one in the group. If Balance isn't putting a lot of pressure on him, he just might be sitting there waiting, and that waiting might let Yoakley catch up.
Jen Hildreth is in the pits with William Yoakley's father, Mike Yoakley. I'm going to ask him a little bit about that start.
I'm here with number 2, Team Green. That's William Yoakley. Yoakley hit a tree on the first turn. He ended up finishing 4th in the first lap. Had to use up a lot of energy. How do you think that's going to affect him for the rest of the race?
Yeah, that was evidently a bad break for William, but he come out of it pretty good and ended up 4th the first lap. But he's in really good shape, so maybe he can pull it on off anyway. That'll help.
Boy, really good shape. We wondered about that earlier, how much energy, how much strength it was sapped from the body of William Yoakley, but right now there certainly is no effect that shows. He is flat getting through the woods. Back with a battle for the lead. Matt Smiley out front, Bill Balance in second. Those guys, you know what? They might as well have a chain between them.
Yeah, they're just going around here picking good lines. Ooh, low tree there. Yeah, we always talk about the motorcycles being able to get through tight spots, but motorcycle guy, he had to duck a little bit there.
I would tell you, if you own an ATV, don't try this at home. You need to be out on a track like we have here at Cross Anchor. And there's more coming up. Grand National Cross Country Racing, welcome back. This is just about the midway mark as Smiley continues to lead Bill Balance. There are the two of them right there. And into the check, and this could be, in fact, it looked like Balance. Yeah, he pointed at his gas tank. He wanted gas, and they are stopping. Watch how quick they do this.
Yeah, Bill's crew, they're very efficient, and probably when he saw the 2-lap board come out, he told his crew they probably earlier were thinking we'll gas maybe 3 laps, but since it's only going to be a 4-lap race, he wants gas now.
As quick as he was, you know what? Yoakley was even quicker. Boy, they dumped that gas in, and he was gone.
And the Team Green guys, they're oh, Brad Page getting in there a little bit hot. Boy, as a rider, I never liked it when they dumped water down my back like that, especially on a warmer day like today. It feels good instantly, but then it goes on your seat, and you're just sliding all over the place.
Very good point. Very good point. There's your leader, and he's opened up a slight gap. Boy, he's opened up a big gap. That's as big as we've seen all race long over Bill Balance. Smiley is out front by a significant amount.
Yeah, maybe Matt was just kind of biding his time after gas. He feels now that he's ready to go. He's got energy. Oh, and look at Bill Balance. See that line he picked up?
Look at that. Oh. Look at that.
We've seen him do that all day today, just studying this course. He's doing a great job of picking lines out there.
Now, the key is he did it, and Yoakley did not see it, because I would guess he saved 2 seconds, at least 2 seconds, by cutting that corner. Now, that's legal. You need to stay like within 25 feet or so of the laid out course. So he was well within the legality issue, if that is an issue.
Yeah. Oh, and boy, Balance, here he is. He's right back on Smiley's rear wheel. You know, man, Smiley could have got a lap rider in between him. That's what gave him his gap, but Bill wasted no time in getting right back on him.
Now, there are other riders on the course that are not necessarily in the pro class, and we see some of them being lapped. They are running different classes. Want to point that out to you. Here's third place, Yoakley. Yoakley seems to have dropped back just a couple, 3 seconds, and not so far that he can't see him, but he has definitely fallen off the pace. And here is fourth place, a battle between Seagot and Page.
And Brad Page, he's having all kinds of company today. It's a different group of riders, so he's had quite the interesting day so far.
And here's, you see a couple of those riders right there. They are not in the pro division. They're out there enjoying a leisurely ride through the woods when all of a sudden, whack, bang, and they'd better get out of the way.
Yeah, we could hear the pro guys hollering out, oh man, look at Smiley. He's just, wow, he is going.
This pace is incredible that they're riding. This is a rough track, and they're bouncing all over. Here's Seagot in fourth place.
Yes, and Brad Page is still right with him.
Yep, Page right behind.
Yeah.
What a battle they're having. Look at this.
And the neat thing with this grass track, it really lets the guys pick alternate lines. A lot of room out there.
Let's jump on board with a core Moto Cam. Battle for fourth place.
Yeah, Brad Page is in fifth right here behind Jeff Seagot. And you can see the woods and the terrain, the way the trail's established now, and the guys, Brad's up and down, really working that quad in between those trees, just looking for any opportunity to get around Jeff.
What I can see is it's extremely rough out there, and they're working their way in and out through trees, and there's a little bit of bottleneck.
Oh boy, doesn't this bring back memories from Georgia when Seagot got in the bottleneck, and that's when Balance got around him? Right there, I don't know if he could have done it in that particular situation, but if Brad Page could have looked up the trail a little bit, he might have been find a way around right there, and he could have got Seagot, and Seagot would have said, oh no, not again. There's Brad waving at the lapper saying, thanks for getting out of the way. We got to go. We're in a hurry.
They better get out of the way. You know, it's a courtesy thing.
Yeah.
They're not obligated to move over, but if they don't, my guess is they'd find themselves right down in that gully where that bridge just crossed.
Yeah, and the nice thing, too, if you let the pro guys by, you got the best seat in the house. You jump back in behind them, and you can see guys like Boric and Balance doing wheelies and jumping stuff. And, you know, we got Baker up here, and these guys will do stuff they never even thought was possible on a four-wheeler.
Well, they're not going to watch it for long because they're going to be gone as fast as they travel.
And Boric, he is really getting around it out here in the open stuff. He talked about his motocrossing a little bit, and that's the thing with the young kids coming up. It takes a little while to learn all those lines that we saw Balance in there doing, but it's just a learning process. And here we are at one of the punch checks out on the course. This goes along with the main punch check back at the scoring barrels. Make sure everybody is on the course and doing what they need to do.
Oh, look at that. Think they're not going fast? You think they're not going fast? Wow. Now they held up a rider and to allow Yokley to get through.
Yeah, I think the scorer guys did that guy a favor right there.
I think they did too, because Yokley would have caught him right about there, and there was a tree in the way. We're seeing a lot of passing here, and seeing a lot of courtesy by those riders that are not in the pro division.
Yeah, it makes it fun for everybody when everybody, you know, gives the guys a little bit of leeway. It's for a lot of fun action out there. And man, I just cannot believe the pace these guys have run in this heat.
And the track is extremely rough. They take no time to pick lines. They hit it as hard as they can, and they'll do it again when we come back. Into the home check for the final time today. There is Smiley. He's still the leader, has been since the outset, and Balance running in second place.
Man, there's Balance. He's giving his pit crew the thumbs up. He must feel like he's got Smiley covered today, and he feels he's going to win this race.
Well, Yokley might have something to say about that. He's closed the gap from third place. Now, we've talked from time to time about other classes. One of those classes is the utility class. Jen Hildreth has a story about a guy who's a fixture on the circuit.
If the name Mike Penland doesn't immediately ring a bell, the face behind the name certainly will. The utility ATV rider's bushy mustache and big straw hat have become familiar fixtures in the off-road community.
It's very recognized when I'm in magazines and pictures or in posters for Maxxis tires or Kawasaki or some of my other sponsors, Super Trap and stuff. The mustache is, like you said, it's a real trademark. When people come to the races and they're walking around and they got a program or something with my picture in it, they say, that's him? Yeah, I think that's him. They're a lot of times intimidated to come up, but I like to talk to people. I want them to come.
While the popular Kawasaki rider's physical appearance has undeniably brought him a lot of attention, the 9-time utility ATV champion has also made a name for himself on the track. He earned his 9 championships consecutively from 1991 to 99, and after finishing a very close third last year, he's determined to get back on top.
I sure expect to win it again this year, make number 10.
The Georgia native actually started his racing career on a motorcycle, but when his father, Hoyt, died in a car accident in 1977, Mike did not have enough money to keep riding and went 12 years without racing. When he did get back in the saddle in 1990, it was on an ATV.
A friend of mine came to me and said, Mike, I found a race. He says it's a Grand National Cross Country. I said, I don't know what that is, and found out that it's same as a hare scramble, just you ride 2.5 hours instead of 1.5 hours or 2 hours. And I said, that's great, and it was Saturday. He said, but there's just one thing. He said, it's ATVs. I said, I've got one. So we went, and I've been doing it ever since.
Mike never would have thought that 12 years later he would have won more than 100 national races and competed in such varied events as desert racing, the Baja 1000 and 2000, ice racing, and the Pikes Peak Hill Climb. Yet it's the atmosphere of the GNCC series that keeps bringing Penland back year after year.
Being able to go all over the nation, the eastern part of America, and visit people and see people and just to be with them at these great races. The atmosphere, it's family. It's like a family reunion. The children are here and they play with each other every 2 weeks when we race, and the wives get to talk to one another as the husbands are racing. Several of the people, their friends, will grill hamburgers or grill steaks while they're out riding. And when they come in, they just eat. And it's really good to have the atmosphere that there is, family atmosphere.
I would have to agree with that. In fact, Mark, I think that the atmosphere is one of the big reasons for GNCC. Meanwhile, back in the pits, the riders are still coming through to start their final lap of action, and they are still intent on pounding that course, making as many passes as they can. And Santo Teresi has moved up now to 6th place.
Yeah, this is his best ride of this year so far. He's making good progress. And right behind him, he's got Chris Borch and Brian Baker.
The Core Moto Cam will jump on board as we follow Santo Teresi.
Boy, there's one of those bridges we talked about. Boy, when you come down there at that type of speed, that thing looks pretty narrow.
Now, we know that DeRisi is back a ways from the leader, but look how fast he is going. I'm telling you, these guys are all so good when they negotiate the wooded section, the rough section. It's just unbelievable to think that the guys out front, you know, are just an inch or two better every lap.
And actually, he's not that far back because right in front of him here about, maybe 10, 15 seconds, we have Page and Seagut. So if he can pick his pace up just a little bit or they get some traffic, he's going to be right in the hunt for a top 5.
Uh-oh, you see those people standing off to the side? Anytime you see people out in the middle of the woods, there is something tricky there, and he just went through it.
He went through it nicely. We had a little rock pile section there. He got back on his bike to keep the back end from passing the front end right there.
Mike Penland, he was the subject of our feature, the perennial champion in the utility class, looking to gain that #1 plate back. He's about 1 lap down from the leaders at this point, the leaders of the pro class, and here they come. Rider number 4, it is still Smiley out front, Balance in second, and Yoakley right behind him in third.
Man, these guys are twisting it back. They are in a big hurry.
To think that this race, as long as we've been riding it, they're about to go around Penland, and they do, putting Penland in the books and a lap down. As long as they have been racing, they are this close together. It is anyone's race at this point. Smiley, Balance, Yoakley, Seagut. We'll be right back. Welcome back to extremely exciting action. It stems from ATV Grand National Cross Country Championship Racing. It's time, Mark, for a race reset.
Yeah, Smiley, he's been out front all day. Balance is right where he needs to be. Page is out of the race, and Yoakley's moving up fast.
Bad break for Brad Page. He challenged all day long, was thick in the middle of things. Here is your leader, Matt Smiley, and in second place, there is Bill Balance, the defending champion. Now, they have not been, and there is Yoakley in third. First, second, third, bang, bang, bang. They have been that close together, first and second half, since the outset of this race. And Yoakley, coming from way off the pace after a miserable start, had moved into third. Now, there's Seagut in fourth, back just a little ways.
Yes, and now is going to be the time to see if Yoakley's got enough to finish off what he started. He's come from a long way back. He's had to use up a lot of energy, but we've seen him pick some real good rides. Oh, and Santo, now he's in that top 5 position.
He has, because Page dropped out, so that puts Santo DeRisi right up to the number 5 position. Here we go, on to one of the grass track portions of the course. Would you look if Balance is going to pass? Would you look for it to be on grass track?
That would probably be his easiest place because we have a lot of room. There's some alternate lines. And I've been watching Balance all day. He's been keeping all 4 wheels on the ground on the grass track, really carving the corners nice, where Smiley's been getting up on 2 wheels from time to time and struggling just a little bit.
Now, the problem that Balance is having is that Smiley is making no mistakes. He's cutting the lines perfectly, and he's not given any kind of an opening to Bill Balance. And Yoakley can only sit there and watch and say, what do I have to do? Look at this.
Man, they come up there, and Smiley got a little bit of a kicker there. Balance handled it a little bit nicer. So I don't know if the pressure's getting to him or not. And Yoakley, he's just hoping those two take each other out, so he's got an easy win.
It would appear that's what it's going to take for him to win. Look at him work through the trees. Look at this.
Wow. And these guys, I just cannot believe, we've talked about it time and time again, the pace that they've been running in this heat. But when you're trying to win a race, you don't back out for anything.
Let's check it out from the seat of the car Moto Cam, right behind Yoakley.
As you can see, Yoakley, and right up in the trees, there's Bill Balance. Oh boy, these guys, you just can't get any closer than this.
You can't indeed. Look at this. Look at how fast they're going. All 3 riders, they're not making any mistakes. Just picking their way through the woods, the roots. It is just incredibly tough out there. And these guys are just, well, we've used the term so many times, but it's an unbelievable ride. That's what they're turning in.
Yes, and what's going to come down to is the guy that's done his homework all day. One of those lines that we saw Balance use earlier, he might have a special one tucked away. Either that or maybe a lapped rider could decide this. But the way Smiley's ridden, he's just been perfect out front all day. He's led from the start. We don't know if we'll get to the finish first, but he's done a great job so far.
You could make a case for any of the 3 riders that are out front winning this thing and say they deserve it. I guess right now my tip of the hat would have to go to Smiley for having grabbed the hole shot and holding that number 1 position, or maybe to Yoakley, who come from so far back. Well, come to think of it, I guess maybe balance. He hasn't lost it. I give up.
What a fence sitter. And DeRisi, he is moving right up here. He's got Seagot in his sights. You know, 5th might not be good enough for this guy. He's saying, you know, I'm up this far. I might as well do better.
Well, he certainly has closed the gap on Seagot, who at one time was running all by himself there in 4th place after Page dropped out.
Man, we are just getting closer and closer to the finish. We've got a few more miles to go, and Smiley has just not cracked under the pressure of Bill Balance. Bill's looking back, and he sees the big green machine back there coming. He's like, uh-oh, who's just caught us?
Look at that. Look at the cornering style. It's just superb. Just superb. Balance has got to be looking and wondering. Remember when he went through the pits, he gave his thumbs up to the crew. Maybe he's going to regret that. Maybe he's going to say, geez, I spoke too soon.
Or maybe he's got something still in this last couple miles that, oh boy, that lap rider.
Oh, that's going to hurt. That will hurt slightly. He's going to have to go to work and make that gap up.
Yeah, and then he probably made it maybe a little easier for Yoakley after running that lap rider. He said, I'm going to get out of the way for Yoakley.
I think that was a good idea. Back into the tight woods again. The exposed roots bouncing those guys all over the track. Here comes Seagot. Seagot headed for that wood section.
Yeah, I noticed Yoakley still had his kidney belt on. The last time he pulled that thing on the last lap and went on to victory. Maybe that's his secret weapon. He's about time to pull that loose.
And there is 5th place. Santo DeRisi, he's chasing Yoakley.
Oh, you notice he's going for his drink system there?
He's chasing Seagot, rather.
Yeah, and he went for his drink system there, so he might be one of the guys feeling a little bit of this heat.
Well, he may have no idea where he is in the long smell of things. Here's our CD Boots Thrill Seeker shot of the day. Ow! Oh, is that awesome or what?
Man, we've got 1,000 pounds of machine with these 3 guys jumping through the air just like it's nothing.
CD Boots, the Thrill Seeker shot of the day. Back to race action. What is there, about 2.5 foot separating 1st and 2nd place there?
Yeah, and there's only about a quarter mile from here to the finish.
And he made a move. He got him. Bill Balance got the lead away from Smiley. Incredible.
And I can't believe Smiley's led this race all day and lose it.
No, look, Smiley got him back. Smiley got him back.
Uh-oh, and where is 2nd place? Smiley is leading, but I do not see 2nd place, and we weren't but a couple hundred yards from the finish line.
There was a little bit of contact in that wooded section. Here comes Yoakley in 2nd. There was contact back there. Wow.
Man, Balance. I thought he had it won just like he'd done a couple races earlier. Look at Smiley. That's it. Oh, his crew is excited. What a great ride.
And here comes Bill Balance out of the woods. He either nailed a tree.
Oh, look at the right side of his ATV. That front fender is curled up just a little bit right there.
There was some contact back in the woods. No question about that.
Now, did a tree do that or did Smiley do that?
I'm going to refrain from speculating. We'll wait till we get back and we'll ask him. Grand National Cross Country All-Terrain Vehicle Racing on Fox Sports Net has been brought to you by CD Boots. Welcome back. Larry Myers along with Mark Hyde. We have just watched an incredibly exciting race. It was won by that guy, Matt Smiley. And somewhere down there on the victory podium, I think is our own Jen Hildreth. She's probably trying to dodge champagne at this point and get close enough to Matt to grab a word. Jen, what do they got?
Matt Smiley taking 1st place here today. Matt, you had a lot of confidence going in. You said you've never finished worse than 4th. How did you feel? I mean, leading all the way.
Well, I kind of knew wasn't going to get much pressure early on. You know, it was hard to pass out there, somebody fast, and then I knew Bill was stalking me right down to the end. I knew he had a line somewhere. I was just waiting for it. He actually passed me about not even a half mile to go here, which he's done before, and I was waiting for it. But I had kind of a line I picked to pass him back, and unfortunately I got into him and he ended up crashing. I really don't like to see that happen, but you know, it's part of racing. It's happened to me, and it's gonna happen. Not the last time it's gonna happen. It's just unfortunate. But then again, I'm happy to win.
Well, you're waiting for a chance to break through. You got it here today. It's got to feel good, like you just said. Getting your 1st win. Did you get your 1st win here? You said before, ever at this track, right?
Yeah, this is my 1st career win here. I got my 1st career win here, and you know, it's nice to repeat here again.
Well, this track's certainly been good to you then, Matt. All right, now we'll go over to Bob Walker, who's got 2nd place.
Thanks, Jen. Second place, William Yoakley. William, long day. What happened in the first turn?
I was just kind of right side by side with Bill, and I just kind of knew he was going to get me the first turn, and I was trying to kind of slow him down, and somebody hit me from behind, and I hit him, and it just sent me right into that tree in the first turn, and there I was just stuck, everybody just cruising around me, and then I finally got off the tree, and I got back over in the woods and got into another little mess, and I just thought it was going to be a terrible day, and just kept working hard, just chopping them off one after another. And first lap, a lot of them was cooperative. You know, they let me around. I was charging real hard, and I appreciate that. You know, the track was rough and it was a hot day, but you know, the roll design Kawasaki worked great today, and Chris motored around good through all the woods, and tires hooked up great. And they're nothing to beat hole shots. And I just tried real hard all day and got caught up with Matt and Bill, and finally got them in my sight and followed them the whole last lap. And with about a half a mile to go, I was right behind them, and it got into a dusty section. They got some lappers in between us, and I thought, well, you know, I'm going to get third. I was happy with that I came around right over here to finish, and Bill was hung on a tree, and so I just eased around him and came in and got second, so I'm just tickled to death.
All right, Jen, you're over there with third place finisher Billy Balance.
Thanks, Bob. Well, here with Bill Balance, third place. Great race. You battled so hard. What happened there at the end?
With about a half mile to go, I had a line there and had been saving it all day and felt real confident about using it, thought I could make a pass, and used it there at the end and made a pass and went into first. And we went through a field and come back into a tight section, and me and Matt got together, and I got into a tree and went over the handlebars. Went from first to third.
Well, I know it's got to be kind of disappointing right now, but how does that leave you motivated for the next race?
It helps a lot, you know, especially being 2 weekends in a row that I've gotten beat or my luck's gone bad. So, you know, anytime you get beat, it builds a fire and a desire to come back and win even more than if you're out here winning every race. So I'm going to be ready to go at Loretta's.
All right, well, Bill Balance disappointed right now, but hoping that luck will turn. Either way, this has been one of the best GNCC races so far.
Well, as we check the results out, Mark, I kind of wonder if I'm Matt Smiley, if when we get to Loretta Lynn's, if I might not be looking over my shoulder.
Yeah, because you know what they say about paybacks, Larry.
Indeed, I do. Let's go back to Jen Hildreth, who is with our fourth place finisher, Jeff Seagat.
Well, Jeff, you're saying you had a sprained thumb. It was giving you a few problems coming into the race. Did it give you a few more problems than you thought?
Yeah, it really did. At the first maybe 15, 20 minutes of the race, maybe the first lap, it really wasn't bothering me. I pulled off fourth. I got by Page, and I was in third. I felt pretty good. Balance and Smiley seemed like they were a little bit more or faster on the pace. They pulled a little bit from me, and then Yoakley got caught up to me, and then I actually, to the audience, I let him by. And then I tried my best to stay up with him, but yeah, in the back of my head, my thumb was there, and it did hurt. So I think that did play a little part on why I fell back off the pace.
Okay, what are you going to do to make sure that's better by the next race in Tennessee?
You know what? I think I'm going to go to a doctor, because when I originally did it 2 weeks ago, it hurt to the point where I thought I should go to the doctor, but I just kind of put it off. But I'm definitely going to go back to the doctor and see what the best way to let it heal would be.
Okay, well, Jeff Seagat riding through pain, still finishing fourth. Now we'll go to Bob Walker for one of the most surprising riders of the race.
Thanks, Jen. We're here with a new face today, Santo DeRisi, with his best finish of the year.
Yeah, everything felt good. The bike worked real well. Just had a real good day.
Having a chance to run up front with the leaders, did you learn anything from them?
Yeah, I learned a lot. I kept watching. I got behind Yoakley a little bit and rode and watched what he did, and I don't know, just learned a lot.
There you go. Phenomenal day of racing here today. The 1, 2, and 4 bikes going nose to tail throughout the whole race. The number 2 Yoakley bike had a dead last start, getting stuck in the first turn, comes all the way back to finish in second place. Balance goes into the woods the last quarter mile of the race with Smiley directly behind him. Smiley comes out with a 30-second lead. There's definitely going to be some bad blood to watch between these two bikes. Was it intentional contact or was it just racing? We'll have to watch and see what happens in Nashville.
Hey, Bob, rubbing is racing. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yes, and just like the weather, the GNCC ATV series is heating up. And when we get to Loretta Lynn's, it might be at a full boil. Matt Smiley has showed Bill Balance that, hey, I'm here and I'm racing.
Heating up indeed. Only 1 point separate first and second place. And check that out. The battle for third, well, are two guys that are tied. Loretta Lynn's is going to be fast and fierce. So for Mark Hyde, Bob Walker, and Jen Hildreth, I'm Larry Myers. So long, everyone.